and until now.
Yeah, I'm a big Dallas Cowboy fan, so I know that they gave you an opportunity, which is a great thing. And are you, like, before we go any further, are you still pursuing your career? Are you continuing doing that, pursuing your career?
Yeah, man. I mean, with everything going on right now with the pandemic, it's looking slow for a lot of workouts and things like that. But I'm definitely still keeping that door open right now. Staying in shape, trying to work out as much as I can with everything going on, and just trying to stay relevant. So if that opportunity arises, I'm definitely available, and I'm willing to play, of course.
So take me back to your college experience. I think if I'm not mistaken, you went to Monmouth University, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
So take me back to that experience, and what was that like playing football there at Monmouth?
It was awesome. I got to meet a lot of cool guys. Coaches were great. We didn't win as much as I would have liked to, coming from a winning program in high school, but all in all, football was it was awesome to be able to play that for another 5 years and have the opportunity to do it in a beautiful campus up in New Jersey. But it was cool, man. I got redshirted my freshman year. I traveled with the team the entire season that year. Didn't play, and then my redshirt freshman year, my sophomore year, I started seeing a bit of action. I started that year, and then I just started making a little bit more plays here and there, and then the coaches and staff, they trusted me a little bit more, so I started playing more and more going throughout my career. And then sophomore, junior, senior year, I started picking up a little bit of hype from the NFL, and so that became a realization for me that I could go to the next level, which was great. So I took that and ran with that opportunity, man. But I love Monmouth. I love what the program is doing with them now. They're really on the uptrend in terms of just getting higher caliber recruits, just competing with different teams that we would have never played when I was there. Right now they're playing bigger 1AA teams, 1A teams. So that's awesome to see them just doing better and better every year.
Yeah, I'm from New Jersey, so I get a close eye on Monmouth, and they have a good football program, even basketball program. The basketball team is starting to develop, and Monmouth is heading into the right direction. So I'm looking forward to see what they're doing in the future. But take me back when the Cowboys gave you that opportunity, and when they called you to come into camp and try out for them. What was that like?
It was awesome, man. It was awesome. So I'm sure you're a Cowboys fan. You're from Jersey. You know about Miles Austin, right?
Yeah.
Great receiver that they had for a nice span of years. Did a lot of good things for the Cowboys. So my senior year coming out of Monmouth, Miles had worked with the Cowboys that year as like a scout or like somebody on their help assistant side, where they were able to get him on board and bring in guys that he thought were a good fit. So he looked out for me, and I'm eternally grateful for Miles for doing that. He didn't have to. He extended his hand out to me, talked to the coaches, talked to my agents. And he got me out there on a rookie tryout for their mini camp. Went out there on the tryout. I think I did pretty well. That following day after the rookie mini camp, they called me back and they signed me for a rookie deal. So I went back out there for OTAs, mini camp, and training camp. And that was awesome, man. It was a great experience being up there. They're top class caliber organization. The players never wanted for anything. Training staff was awesome. So it was just a blessing to be able to go through that process and have Miles on my side and really push me. Like, I saw Miles every day throughout practice. He'd come up behind me while I'm on the sideline watching practice or while I'm playing, and just kind of nudge me like, yo, keep going, keep doing your thing. Like, I'm watching you. You're doing great, so just keep playing. So it was awesome to have him on my side and in my corner, man.
So during the training camp, who did you seek advice to? Who did you ask questions to a lot on the defensive side? Who was that person that you talked to in the Dallas Cowboys locker room or practice?
Honestly, as a rookie, I didn't really talk to many of the older vets. And that's one of the things I wish I could have took back and done over again, kind of like pick their brains and figure out the little things I need to do just to further my career. But one of the guys that I did talk to in my position group was Sean Lee. Sean Lee was, the field general. He knew ins and outs of football, offensive schemes, defensive schemes, and just how to play ball and how to be a top-notch linebacker. So Sean was always able to, just relate what we saw on the film into what we did on the field. He broke it down to us in such an easy way, to where he was kind of like that second coach that we had on the film for the rookies that year. Like, we all were able to rely on Sean for questions and insight just on coverages and fits and how to take on blockers and things like that sort. So Sean was a great help for me, man.
Yeah, so, man, as a Cowboy fan, I'm just honored to have him on the team. And Sean Lee, still going at it, man. He's still,
oh yeah, man, he's awesome, bro. I don't know how he's doing it, but he's keeping up with the game, man. He's
like even
caliber athlete.
Even with all the injury concerns, he's like a warrior. He reminds me of that leader where when he gets injured, he still plays with the I think he played with the. No, that was Romo. But I think Sean Lee played with the injury before. I'm not. I gotta check, but I think Sean Lee played with the injury. But this guy, man, still going at it, and I'm just, as a Cowboy fan, I'm just honored to see him play at a high level when healthy. So that's a good person to seek advice from. So
for sure. When I was there, Sean was dealing with a hamstring injury. That's been like a real chronic injury for him, and he's been rehabbing like crazy to try to get back on the field, obviously to play the game. But when I was there, that's what he was dealing with, and he would still go out and practice. He was never behind the ball. He was never taking vet days off and just kind of like, you know what, F it, I'm not going today. He was always trying to be in tune with the game and help the guys that were, you know, quote unquote below him raise their level of play, because as you know, your team's only as good as your weakest link. So the more he tries to get the rookies along, the better the team's going to be, and that's what he did day in and day out. I appreciate that.
Right. So now you went from the Cowboys to the Steelers, like you said, and I believe the Cowboys and the Steelers are the top two organizations when it comes to like the front office and the team overall. So what was that like, shifting from the Cowboys to the Steelers, going from a great organization to another one into the Steelers?
It was awesome. It was a smooth transition. So after my rookie year, I got released from the Cowboys, went up and played in Canada and came back. Yeah. And I had a private workout with the Steelers, and they signed me the same day. And being out there, it was awesome, man. Like they were second tier to none. You know, they were right up there with the Cowboys in terms of how they treated their players, how the coaches were, and just what I was able to soak in as a young linebacker. But the Steelers organization was top notch, man. And if anybody has an opportunity to go out there and play for them, they're definitely going to take their game to the next level, for sure.
Yeah, actually, I should ask you this before the Steelers. If anybody doesn't know you played in the CFL, right, in Canada?
Yeah.
Okay, so if can you explain to the viewers, whoever doesn't know, what the CFL is, if you don't mind?
The CFL is Canadian Football League. When I was up there, I played in BC. That was my rookie year. I played in BC for 6 weeks, came back home, and then I was just out there last season for training camp in Hamilton, Ontario. Oh, okay. It's a little bit different game. The field's a little bit bigger. You play 12-on-12 football, so you have one more defender, one more person on offense. But it's the same caliber, man. The guys are fast. They're flying around because the field is bigger, so you have to cover more field. So to me, it seemed like the game was a little bit faster. It seemed like the guys were a little bit faster and a little bit athletic. But that's pretty much what it is. It's just football at the end of the day, though. So you still tackle, you still throw the ball, you still block, you still, you know, so.
So now going back to your Steelers career thing. So what was it like learning from underneath Mike Tomlin, Coach Mike Tomlin? What was that like?
Awesome, man. Like the way I saw the players kind of just like mesh and relate with him was like nothing I've seen before from a coach in a player's perspective. Like he's a true player's coach. Like he would go out there, he'd joke around with the players. He's getting on them and laughing at him throughout the warm-ups, and guys are going back and cutting up on him. So like you saw that mesh between the team, and that's kind of why they had the success that they had, because they had that culture, they had that environment of just comfort. You're going there, you're going to work, but you can be easy, you can have fun with it. And that's what I appreciate about that, because that made me not think as much as I would have done if I was in a place where it wasn't as, you know, friendly of a relationship between coach and player. So
did you who is it? Did you talk to, like, seek any advice from the veteran players too in Pittsburgh?
When I was in Pittsburgh, I was only there for a couple months when we were actually playing. But I talked to Vinny. He was a good dude. Vinny was always able to kind of help me the same way Sean was. You know, he just give you insight. Kind of you just pick their brains a little bit. So Vince Williams, he was a good dude I talked to a lot of the DBs. Morgan Burnett was out there when I was there. He was a good, cool dude that I talked to. But mainly, man, I was really with the younger guys. Like I wasn't really picking the brain of a lot of the vets like I should have done. And in hindsight, I wish I had done that, because I would have gotten a little bit more insight on just what football is at the pro level and how to navigate and how to meet people and how to network and do that type of thing. Right.
So let me ask you this. So did you consider the XFL also at one point?
Yeah, so I was in the XFL this last year. I was on the New York Guardians.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was that like? What was that experience like playing for the Guardians before this pandemic came up?
It was cool. So I was with the Guardians throughout camp, and then I got released, and I was on Team 9. So Team 9 was like a practice roster, I would say, for the entire league. So throughout that 5-week span that I was on Team 9, teams were able to come in and pick guys off of that team to bring to the team that they needed. So it's kind of like a safety net, as opposed to teams going out there and getting guys off the street who really probably haven't worked out or haven't ran or haven't, stayed in tune with football. So in Team 9, what we did was we pretty much every day woke up, we had film of basic cover 1, cover 2, cover 3. Kept it real vanilla, real simple. We'd go out on the field, we'd run through those practices, through those films, and then come back and watch film on that again, and then the next day do it all over again. But then as we're doing that day by day, you see teams come in, pick up guys, and guys leave. Guys will be there for 3 days, 4 days, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and they'll leave back and go to the team that needs them. And so that was cool, man. And then after week 5, I went back to New York. I was there for like a week and a half, and then the season ended because of coronavirus. So while I was there, it was cool. Coaching staff was great. Coach Gilbert was awesome. So it was a good environment, man. I kind of wish that the league had stayed and furthered itself a little bit longer, but I guess with everything going on, it couldn't sustain.
So I heard some reports on Twitter that they're not going to come back in 2021, but do you see them potentially coming back soon, after this whole thing is over?
Honestly, I don't know. I know as much as the general public knows. So what I heard was also that they had like a 10-year plan or something that they were going to be able to fund for 10 years or whatever it was with the $500 million. So my guess would be that if they still had those funds now, that they would come back, and I hope they would, because it was a great opportunity for me and for all the other guys in that league itself.
Okay.
So I would hope so. Right now, I don't know with the pandemic going on, but I guess fingers crossed, right? It's a great opportunity, and it had a lot of fan base, and it was cool.
Mm-hmm. So what do you do to keep yourself in football shape, especially during this tough situation? What do you do like to keep yourself in football shape, football ready?
Real basic workouts, man. So like, actually, me and my girlfriend will actually go out to this local park that we have in our neighborhood, in our community, and we'll work out. Like, I got dumbbells with me, so I can't go to the gym, right? So I have these 35-pound dumbbells in my trunk right now that I bring out there with her. We got bands, we got the ladder, so we're getting it in, man. Like, I'm putting her through some of the same workouts that I do on my own, like when I'm in the gym by myself. So it's pretty awesome to see her kind of buy into that and kind of benefit and do well as well, while I'm also getting my work. So it's cool.
Yeah, I like doing group. Like for me too, I like doing group workouts because you can push each other.
Yeah,
like go extra hard and push each other, and then do like new things. And I'm just missing the gym also. So, but
it's hard, man. It's hard to get like a real workout in. Like this morning, actually, I was at my buddy's house. We were in his garage, James, and he had a barbell, so he was able to rent a barbell from his gym, and he had some plates, and we were able to do deadlifts, power cleans, lunges. So we had a full workout. That was my first time getting a full workout in with a barbell in like the last 3 weeks. So it was awesome.
Wow. Yeah, so like we have a mini gym in my basement. Like we have ropes, kettlebell, dumbbells.
Yep.
We have TRX band and everything. So, and I do my cardio outside. So that's
nice. You got the setup, man. You got a good setup right there.
Yeah.
All the accessories.
So obviously, when this whole thing, have you been in contact with any teams lately, just to keep in contact with them, and when everything is over, so the teams can get back to you or reach out to you?
No, not right now, man. So it's slow. For me, I didn't play a whole season this last year, right? So in regards to the NFL and just being realistic, they're not looking for a guy who hasn't had film within the last year. They're looking for guys who are probably fresh out of college, guys who have played on the team within the last year and who have active, relevant film. So for me, that's my challenge. So I can only control what I can control. My agent can only control what he can control. He's still vouching for me day in and day out. So it's like I just got to make sure I'm ready on my end, right? So,
right.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give these young athletes who's trying to be like you, and then these other people that's in your position right now? What advice would you give them?
In terms of like football, or in terms of like life?
In terms of football and trying to get into the league or wherever, like or anywhere or any league. So or anybody in your position, what advice would you give them?
Work. That's it. Just work. Nothing beats work. Nothing beats effort. If you want it, you'll work for it. If you don't, it'll show. You can't cheat the system, and it'll always tell on you in the long run, right? So I would say, man, just if you really love football and you love the grind of it, just stick at it. do your whatever your routine is daily. Stick at that, find a regimen, find a routine, and work at it each and every day, and get seen. Have somebody to vouch for you. Have an agent, have a coach, have a parent, somebody that's taking you out there to go to those camps. Have somebody that kind of believes in you and helps you, and that's in your foxhole, that can vouch for you.
Yeah. So which linebacker or which defensive player did you look up to throughout your career, and which linebacker or football defensive player did you try and mold your game around?
So that's hard because growing up, I always played defensive end. I played D end from like little league all the way throughout. I guess college like an outside linebacker, rush.
Yeah.
So for me, my favorite D end watching, it was probably Jared Allen. He was a dog when he was with the Vikings. That's when I was really like in tune and really started watching and focusing football and understanding and breaking down technique. That was probably like my middle school, high school years. So I enjoyed watching Jared Allen. He was a dog. And then I got to the league and I started paying more attention to just like football in general, like defensive schemes, right? So I'm seeing Luke Kuechly just fly around the field. Luke Kuechly's leading the league in tackles, forced fumbles, recoveries, and he was just flying around. So like when I got to the league, I was making sure I was getting on YouTube, all right. Highlights. And even if on my iPad, we had access to every team's film. So I'm watching Luke Kuechly in games. So it's like you just got to pick apart and find players that you want to resemble. And that's kind of what I did. Like you said, Luke Kuechly and Jared Allen were both the guys that I enjoyed watching.
Yeah, unfortunately, Luke Kuechly had to retire at an early age because of the injury concern. But he's going to go down as one of the best linebackers, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But have you been keeping up with the off-season so far, this crazy off-season?
Honestly, not really. I heard that there's no more, there's not rookie mini camps this year, right?
Yeah, I don't think not right now. Yeah,
and that's kind of hurting a lot of the younger guys, especially from smaller schools who don't really have that film. Guys that from my school that that should be getting their opportunity that they're not, just because of the coronavirus and the pandemic going on right now.
Yeah.
So like you just get, like I said, you got to control what you can control. I just hope those guys are staying mentally ready, physically ready, and they're not getting down on themselves.
Right. So before I let you go, I got a couple of like rapid fire questions for you and two takes.
Yeah.
So favorite thing to do outside of football?
Outside of football, right now is read, man. I just got a new book, Think and Grow Rich. So I'm enjoying reading that right now.
Favorite food?
Favorite food? Ooh, curry chicken.
Oh, nice. Favorite hip hop artist, old school and currently?
Old school. You gotta say like Biggie or Tupac, right? For old school, right? Like you can't say anybody else. So I'll go with Biggie and Tupac. And currently I'm liking Lil Baby, man. He put out a nice album yesterday, and that's been on repeat ever since.
Yeah. Oh, you should check out Drake's Dark demo tapes. That's lit.
I've heard it. It's decent. I like it. It's a different type of feel, but it's not like the real Drake that I'm used to. But I like it. It's nice.
Yeah. Favorite sports movie?
Sports movie, Blindside. Blindside.
Favorite non-sports movie?
Ooh, non-sports movie. Any of the Avengers. I'm a big Avengers fan. I like Marvel. I like Avengers. I like any of those.
Kawhi Leonard's laugh or Kevin Hart's laugh?
Kawhi.
That's a new question I'm bringing up right now in the rapid fire question. So I'm trying to get everybody to react.
Oh yeah. That's a good one.
Okay, here's another good one. Lou Young or Steve Harvey?
I'll go with Steve. I like Steve.
Yeah.
I like Steve.
You know Lou Young, right? You know who I'm talking about? Lou Young?
Yeah.
The one who imitates Steve Harvey?
Yeah.
I interviewed him.
They're funny.
Yeah, I interviewed him last week.
How was that? How'd that go?
Oh, it's good. Perfect. He's fun. I should have asked him to do some skits, but
man. I've seen his videos. I've seen him on my IG and on my Twitter pop up, and people repost and stuff. He's funny.
Favorite player in any other sport growing up?
Favorite player in any other sport? Ooh, that's hard. I'd probably say MJ.
MJ?
Yeah.
Thoughts. Speaking of MJ, thoughts on this documentary so far?
Bro, I have not finished it. I watched the first 2 episodes. I got to get on and finish watching it. I'll probably watch it today, honestly. But I heard it was good, man. I heard it was good.
Yeah, tomorrow's 4 and 5. I think it's tomorrow's 4 and 5, so I'm looking forward to that one.
Okay.
And then the last two things here before I let you go. I've been asking this question to all my guests about the late Kobe Bryant. What they mean. I've been asking their perspective on what Kobe meant to them. So I just want to get your perspective on what Kobe and his daughter meant, and what does Mama mentality mean to you?
So R.I.P. Kobe, R.I.P. Gigi. But just the Kobe mentality, the Mama mentality is just go get it, work for it, attack it, go get it. Don't let anything stop you. Don't let anything get in your way. And that's pretty much what their mantra was. And that's what we all should abide by in life. You know, not just sports, but if it's business, if it's, you know, music, whatever you do, have that same mentality. Go after it. If you love it, if you enjoy doing it, go after it 100%. So.
Well said. And I just want to give a shout out to Nate Burleson, who just joined. The former NFL player, Nate Burleson. He did some great work at GMFB football show. So shout out to him. Thank you for joining. So the last thing, would you like to say anything to the frontline people?
Frontline people, man, thank you for your work, man. We appreciate you. Everybody's at home trying to stay quarantined. We appreciate you guys on the front line. Keep doing what you're doing. We're praying for you guys, for sure.
Well said. And by the way, all you guys, please check out my cousin and I. We started a Gofundme page last weekend, and if you guys don't mind, just check it out. It's on my link. The link is in my bio on Instagram. So it's for the frontline people and then all the local food businesses. Nice. So we're trying to raise money for them and for a good cause. So hopefully everyone can go see it, check it out. But there he is. The great Darnell Jamar. He's looking for an opportunity again to play in the NFL, and I believe that you're going to get that chance. And keep working hard. You're a great player. I've seen you already. Obviously, because I'm a Cowboy fan, so I've seen you play a little bit for the Dallas training camp. So you're a great player. Keep working hard, and you and your family stay safe.
Appreciate that.